first thing to say is that on the paper at the bottom there, it says that City Munch is due to launch in December. That's factually incorrect. It's live and launched right now, so discounts for everyone are available right now. So it's a pretty simple proposition, this. So you can see on the screen that the initial list view that we have of restaurants that are nearby, these are all cards of restaurants. First one, 84, is 2 minutes away. It's a great place if you want a salt beef bagel, fantastic. The whole point of the app is these little coupons in the corners of these cards. So that's 84 has a 25% discount off, which ends at 11 p.m. today. I'm not sure you can read that. And very simply, what the consumer journey is they tap on that little coupon in the corner, and 25% of all food, this is assuming that they know 84 for the moment, 25% of all food, arrival time 8 to 11, how many diners, 2 of us, and then confirm. I won't do that because it'll send them an email, but they'll get something that I prepared earlier. Clearly this is a different one, the White Swan. What happened there? And you get a voucher and you walk into the restaurant, show it to the member of staff, and then you're entitled to your discount. So very simple. Assuming that you don't know where you're going, each of these restaurants has a profile. So again, we'll just stick with 84 for the moment. Reviews here come from Google at the moment. We've taken Google's API. Eventually it'll have its own reviews, but for the moment we need to have something. So that's what it is. Photos of the place, photos of the food of the place, brief description, where it is, and you can get directions immediately there. It just goes straight to Google Maps and you can see how to get there. And then popular dishes that have been brought out of the menus. This gives you a feel for the place. And then the reviews, everything you'd expect, basically. If you are not such a fan of boring lists, but are more of a map person, then we have a list of, or a map showing the offers that are around right now. These are all time-specific offers, clearly. So if I go forward in time, 9 to 10 p.m., the offers change. There aren't too many around right now. The best time is usually lunchtime. And one of my favorite features is this little icon in the bottom right-hand corner, which you can barely see on the screen. But the purpose of that is to change the information that the pins show you. So here you can see if I blow it up as far as it'll go, there's a cafe, a Brazilian restaurant, a pizza place, and an American place. And you can see it pulls in the ratings there. So you can just get an instant feel of the kinds of deals that are on around you. And then press the button again, and these are the names of the places. So, and we also have the ability to search by restaurant, by cuisine, and by location. And then a few more features which I won't go through for the moment. This is kind of the first half of the demo. The second half of the demo would be what the restaurants see. So we have 170 restaurants on board at the moment. They have something that looks and feels pretty much exactly like Google Calendar. They can manage all of this through a calendar interface. And if you want to set up a meeting in Google Calendar, then it's pretty easy to do that. You set up a meeting between 5 and 7, recurring on a Wednesday, whatever it happens to be. It's exactly the same process here. You set up a discount offer for 30% off food, 5 to 7 in the evening, Wednesdays recurring ad infinitum, whatever it happens to be. The key thing about the discounts is that they're all food-only discounts. And where we're going with this is that, we're beginning, this has been running for 5 months or so now, and we're beginning to get the insights from the data that we've collected since we've launched. It's not much yet, but it's not actually my phone either. It's not a huge amount yet, but the data that we've collected is beginning to allow us to tell restaurants, or to give insights to restaurants and say, these are the kind of times you want to focus on. The difference between a 25% voucher and a 30% voucher is such and such, etc. And that we want to turn to a full predictive analytics platform such that they can predict to a meaningful degree of accuracy how many people are going to walk through the door by putting on an offer at a certain time. And that's based on who's around, based on which restaurants they've favorited, based on the external factors such as the weather, based on any data source that we can draw upon that's going to impact demand. Then the next stage of that, once we're able to give restaurants that kind of insight and predictive analytics, then the next stage is to suggest offers to them. I won't put the pin code in again. Suggest offers to them such that we can just say, for your business right now, based on all those external demand factors, but also best based on your internal margins and what your supply side characteristics of the restaurant effectively, this is the kind of profile that we might recommend to you. And then the final stage is to automate the entire process and then bring effectively dynamic pricing to the restaurant industry. Thanks very much.
Question right at the back. And I saw another hand go up. Oh, there's loads. Okay. I'm going to ask this lady because I didn't ask the question earlier and I felt mean. That's fine. Thank you.
Great idea. I was just wondering, how did you originally sign up the restaurant? So what was your process? And how are you charging them, or how are you monetizing this?
So I'll answer the second one first. We do charge the restaurants, so we charge them by cover. Someone that's a table for 5 is 5 covers, and we charge them 50p a cover. How we signed them up is it's a long, arduous, labour-intensive business development process. So it's becoming easier now as we're becoming a little bit bigger. But initially it was just traipsing the streets. The low-hanging fruit is an owner-manager. You can wander in, speak to the guy, and there's no other chain of command there. And he might sign up in half an hour. Maybe he'll delay by a bit. But usually once we make it pretty easy or pretty difficult for them to say no.
And sign-up fee or
No. It's kind of dip in, dip out whenever you want, and we give a certain number of free covers per month as well. So it's designed to be a model that's optimized for growth and a no-brainer for the restaurants just to at least dip into the platform and try it.
There's a couple of issues that you're sort of flagging up with the model, in that firstly, people have been using like a happy hour style pricing for quite a while. And secondly, do you ever get the objection on the door when you speak to people that it might cannibalise their existing customers who otherwise would have paid full price?
So on the first one, the happy hour type restaurant pricing model has indeed been around for a while. I mean, the main issue with that is that it's not broadcast to anyone other than the people that happen to walk past or the people that know about it, or whatever it happens to be. And what we're trying to do is put the restaurants in somewhat of a straitjacket, say that this is the type of deal that you need to offer. You can't offer a 2-for-1. You can't offer a free glass of Prosecco. You have to offer a percentage discount off food and nothing else, which makes, as a product for the customer, if you have, 2-for-1's great, but if you have a whole load of them, then it's very, very helpful just to have a choice of 5, where they're all just a percentage discount off food. Given that it has the ability to effectively hoover up passers-by and by giving a very simple product and something that's unique to them. What was the other question?
About cannibalisation.
Oh, yeah, I mean, because it's kind of it's effectively an off-peak thing. I mean, it's for restaurants' quiet periods. So we say to them, look, if you want to put an offer on, it's probably silly for most restaurants most of the time to put an offer on at 8 o'clock on a Friday evening in Soho, but any other time and place might be applicable. Also, they can limit it, so they can just say only 5 people can walk through the door, and then the offer disappears, or 10 people. And what was the other thing I was going to say? Yeah, but it's not usually that much of a objection.
Hi, I was wondering, do you distinguish between loyal and repeat customers and new business? Because your restaurant customers might like to build up a loyal customer base and therefore offer discounts just to them, rather than trying to attract new business.
Yes, it's primarily focused on the discovery use case. There is actually a loyalty mechanism that's built into the app, which I didn't go through. But at the moment it functions in a very, very simple way, and we're not really pushing it in restaurants, but if someone goes there 3 times, they can get an extra kicker to their next discount. So if you use 3 vouchers at one place, then whatever the restaurant sets, whether it's plus 10% or plus 5, 10, 20, the next time you pitch up, you can get, instead of a 20% voucher, you can get 20 plus 10 equals a 30% voucher. So we're thinking along those lines, and a similar mechanism for referring a restaurant to a friend as well. So if I refer a restaurant to a friend, I can get a little bonus credit. I can give them a little bonus credit to encourage the referral.
We're over here.
Hi, really cool stuff. Just wondering how would you differentiate yourself from OpenTable?
From OpenTable, the main thing is that it's not a bookings app. The use case is people that are out and about. They're at the pub. They're just finishing work, coming out of lectures, and they're looking for somewhere to eat here and now. Give me a deal, and it's deals focused rather than anything else. So I don't think there are, certainly all those bookings focused apps are by definition focused on bookings. We can skirt above the top of that. We don't integrate with OpenTable. We don't, we're not mutually exclusive with any of those booking systems.
One more? 2 more? You haven't asked a question, I don't think yet, so.
I guess following up from that question, what will separate you from apps such as Wriggle that do similar things to the on-the-day deals? I guess you're moving more towards like an analytics platform, and a platform as a one-stop shop rather than just being on-the-day deals. But what else could perhaps distinguish you from those kind of apps?
Yeah, so there's 2 main things that I'd point to. One is a business model thing, which is something like Wriggle that you identified as is something which works quite well for an individual. What they do, for those that don't know this app, you can buy a specific meal in advance from a certain place. So if it was a burger and chips, it was £13, you buy it for £9 through the app. Everything happens through the app. And then you pitch up and you say, I bought this, and that's your burger and chips. The relative merits of the 2 business models, we kind of focus more on groups, or have a sort of a relative advantage in groups, because you can have anything on the menu and it's just no questions asked, the discount applies to everyone. So that if you're 5 people, you don't have to have all downloaded the app and all have the same thing and all bought it in advance. You can just, one person pitches up with a voucher for 30% and then they get their discount. So that's the business model difference. And as you say, the analytics is the key for the future for us, and that's something that we're just taking baby steps into at the moment. But yeah, that's the aim.
Perfect, and that's all we have time for. So one last massive round of applause, please, for City Munch.